Hey guys, going, it's Trieyx here. I'm back on a Genshin Impact video. Okay, in this video, I'm explaining to you guys how to constantly hit high damage in this game. So, the two most important stats in this game is crit rate and crit damage. It's not like other games where attack is the most important stat. In fact, attack, I believe, at least to me anyway, it's like the third most important stat in this game. And the reason why, because stats in this game works a little bit different than other games. So yeah, I'll show you guys my character right over here. I've been working on it for a little bit, and this is what I have so far. I have 55% crit rate and 78% crit damage, meaning that 55% of the time I'll be doing crits, and when I do a crit, I'll be doing 78% more damage. But yeah, the base stats for a character is actually 5% crit rate and 5% crit damage. So if I go over here and take off all my artifacts, so right over here, this is the base stats for any character in this game. So your character always starts off with 5% crit rate and 50% crit damage, meaning that I basically gain 50% crit rate from all my artifacts and about like 28% crit damage on my other artifacts. So yeah, I've been working on crit rate a lot because I want to consistently be able to do criticals whenever I attack. So that's why my crit rate is so high. Ideally in this game, you kind of want to have at least 50% crit rate and maybe like 100% crit damage. Obviously you want more than that. Like if you guys can get more, then that'll be even better. But I would say minimum you want 50% crit rate because you want to do crits at least half the time you're attacking. So yeah, that's why I say 50% is the minimum. And the reason why I say 100% crit damage is the minimum because you want to do at least double the damage. So I'll put a formula in the video showing you guys how crit damage works, but to basically explain it, let's say for example I have 50% crit damage and I do 1000 base damage to an enemy. If I crit, I'll be doing 1500 damage on the enemy. And the reason why is because if I do 1000 damage to an enemy without critting, if I do crit, I add 50% more damage to that, which is 1500. If I have 100% crit damage, that will basically be double that, so I'll be doing 2000. So yeah, it's a little bit confusing, but once you get it, it's really easy. But that's why I said that 100% crit damage is what you want to have minimum. So yeah, whenever you see people do high damage in the videos, it's because they have really high crit rate and really high crit damage. So yeah, in terms of how to increase your crit rate and crit damage, the biggest thing is artifacts. Like, this is basically the main way you can really increase your crit rate and crit damage. You can increase your crit rate by getting certain weapons. For example, this sword, I have Elemental Mastery. 151. Some weapons, instead of having elemental mastery, they actually have crit rate. But yeah, I'm not sure what weapons have that, but I know that there's not a lot of weapons that do have that. So yeah, for the most part, you guys probably won't have a weapon that have crit rate, but I believe most of them are from the gacha system. So yeah, it'd be a little bit tough to get those. But yeah, for the most part, you got to be getting your crit damage and crit rate from the artifacts. So yeah, right over here, the circlet of logos, like you guys see right beneath the name of the item, Mask of Solitude, Basalt, whatever. If you guys see under that, it's the circlet of logos. Basically, anything with this crown logo, or the circlet, or whatever, these are the artifacts that will have crit rate and crit damage. Like, for example, right here, I have a 31% crit rate, and also have, I don't know, one of these have crit damage right here. So this artifact right here, or this set of artifacts, or whatever, is the only artifact that can have crit rate and crit damage as their main stat. So these other artifacts, they can only have crit damage and crit rate by their substat. So that's why this artifact right over here is the most important. Right here, I'm using a 31% crit rate. So yeah, that's why my crit rate is so high, because of this artifact right here. That, and also because I can't really get any crit damage artifacts because my artifact luck has been really bad. So yeah, this is the only artifact I have with 31% crit rate. Yeah, this is the only artifact I have that's actually really good. Artifact farming is definitely very RNG based. So yeah, when I was first artifact farming, I was trying to get 100% crit rate on my build, but as I was artifact farming, I realized that the chances of me getting 100% crit rate on my build is really low. Like, the way this artifact system works, it's almost impossible for me to get 100% crit rate because of how much RNG it involves. And the reason why I say it's really RNG involved, because not only do I need to get the right set and the right piece, which requires a lot of RNG in itself, I also need to have the right main stat and also the right substat. And after that, I also need to have really good luck for it to actually increase the substat of the artifact. So if you guys didn't know, every 4 levels you increase a 5-star artifact. After level 4, you have a chance to increase, you have a random chance to increase one of your substats. And you basically have a 25% chance to increase the one you want. So, for example, on this artifact right over here, I was trying to get the increase on the crit damage, but you guys see right there, I did not get a single increase in crit damage at all. So that's what I mean by it's really RNG based. I feel like eventually they're gonna fix the artifact system and give us a way to re-roll the items, but for now, there is no way to re-roll your artifacts main stat or sub stat, and that really stinks. And after hours of artifact farming, I realized that there's no way I can actually get 100% crit rate with the current artifact system. The only way for me to do that is if they ever release a way for you to reroll your artifacts. So that's why I say if you guys are trying to work on your artifacts, I would try to aim for 50% crit rate and at least 100% crit damage. Eventually in the future, if they ever fix the artifact system, you want to, try to get 100% crit rate and then really high crit damage. But for now, 50% crit rate is good enough, and like 100% crit damage is good enough as well. If you guys try to actually perfect your artifacts and try to get 100% crit rate, like, you got to be straining yourself because it'll take you forever to get that, and unless you're really lucky, you probably will never even be able to get anywhere close to 100% crit rate. So even though I said that crit rate is really important and that you always want to be doing criticals, getting 100% critical is nearly impossible, so 50% is about good enough. Like, you'll be doing 50% criticals every single time, so that's pretty good. If you can get that to 60, that's ideal because the majority of the time you'll be doing criticals, but 50% is like the minimum. Like, it's good enough, so you guys don't have to go crazy over that. So now I'm going to equip all my artifacts and I'm going to show you guys the difference between a low crit rate build and a high crit rate build. So yeah, I'm going to be fighting this boss right over here because this boss is pretty easy. So yeah, I'll be showing you guys the difference between having a high crit rate and a low crit rate. Like, the difference is really big. Alright, so it took me a little bit to figure out how I want to do this test, but I kind of figured out how I want to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically be equipping this one artifact, this 31% crit rate artifact, and I'm gonna do 3 runs with this artifact on, and then I'm gonna do 3 runs with this artifact off. And I'm gonna show you guys the difference between each of the runs. I'll be putting a picture of a screenshot of the boss's HP of each run to compare, one with the low crit rate, one with the high crit rate. So right now I have 36% crit rate and 56% crit damage, and I have 8,500 attack.
You stupid.
Oh yeah, 850 attack, not 8,000. I'm an idiot, but anyways, let's do 3 runs with this build, and then we'll do 3 runs without that build. Alright, so that's run number 1. We got 1 crit right there. It still requires a little bit of RNG because I have 30% crit rate, so it's not really that high, but it should still make enough of a difference where you guys can see it. But yeah, it took me a little bit to figure out how I want to do this. So yeah, that's why you guys see like the boss and my HP being so low. Also, another thing I'm gonna be doing to make it more consistent is I'm gonna be fighting the boss whenever it does the same attack, because I think the timing is different between each attack. So I'll only be hitting him when he does that 3-hit combo. Alright, so that's run number 2. I do 1 more run, and then we'll do 1 run with the lower crit rate. Yeah, it took a little bit for the boss to actually do that attack. Alright, so run number 3. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking off that high crit rate artifact, and then I'm going to just have like the base crit rate 5%. Yeah, let's take that off really quick. Alright, to make up for the 8.2% attack and 6.2 crit damage, I'm going to try to equip some other artifacts to try to make that up and try to bring it up to 850 attacks. So let me figure out a good combination really quick. Alright, so this is the best I can do. 849, so it's close enough. It's like 1 attack off, 5% crit rate and 56.2% crit damage. So everything is about the same except for that attack and maybe like the HP and the elemental mastery, but it doesn't really make much of a difference. So yeah, now let's do 3 runs with this build, and it should be a difference. Even though it does require RNG, there should be enough of a difference that you guys can see. Alright, so that's run number 1. The thing is that it's kind of hard to tell the difference because my damage is so low because I took off all my artifacts, but for the purpose of this video, it's really to show you guys the consistency, me doing high damage. So you guys will be seeing a lot more criticals and more higher numbers with the high crit rate build than the one without it. Alright, then run number 2. Alright, so then run number 3. Alright, so what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna run. Oh my god, are you serious? What I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna do another run where I equip all my artifacts, and you guys will be able to actually tell, you know, that I'm doing more consistent, higher damage with the critical. Because when I took off all my artifacts, you guys can't really see, you know, the high numbers. So yeah, I'm gonna do that test as well. So yeah, now I have all my artifacts on, and I have my original crit rate and crit damage. So let's do one there, and then we'll do one without my, you know, really high crit rate artifact, and we'll call the video quits. So alright, so that was one run with my high crit rate, and you guys can see the really high damage, like the 8k and 9k damage, which isn't really that much, but for what I have right now, it's pretty decent. So I'm gonna take off that artifact now, and I'll do one more run with the lower crit rate. Alright, so I took off my artifact right over here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna equip some random artifact. This one right here, the 6% crit damage right here, to match this one. Fortunately, I couldn't really match the attack because I only took off one artifact, but it doesn't really matter. Like, the amount of attack I lost doesn't really do that much of a difference. So yeah, you guys will see the HP difference as well as the amount of damage I'm doing constantly is different compared to the lower crit rate. Alright, there we go. So you guys will see that I didn't do as much damage as I did before when I had the high crit rate. So having a really high crit rate allows you to constantly be able to do a lot more damage than if you have a lower crit rate. So that's kind of about it for this video. Like, I've been recording for so long, like trying to figure out how I want to do this video. And even then, I feel like this video didn't turn out as good as I wanted it to be. Let me know what else I can do better, and maybe I'll do another video showcasing it. So yeah, now we finished the test. I'll put the results of each run in the video right now, and you guys should be able to tell that there is a difference between each run. And I'm also going to put the run where I had all my artifacts on and had the high crit rate, and another run where I had all my artifacts on but with the lower crit rate. So yeah, you guys will see the difference. Definitely crit rate and crit damage is the key to having a higher DPS. That's what you really want to work on when it comes to artifacts. I'll be doing a video talking more about artifacts in the future. Right now, I'm still learning about artifacts and what artifacts is good and stuff like that. So yeah, it'll be a while before I do that video. But to basically summarize this video, what you really need to work on is crit rate and crit damage. Those are the two things you really need to work on in order to increase your overall damage and DPS and to be able to do a lot of damage over time. The best way to get crit damage and crit rate is your artifacts. You can get it by some weapons, but for the most part, artifacts is the best way to do it. And the artifact that will most likely give you the most amount of crit rate or crit damage, depending on what your artifact is the circlet of logos. Only this artifact right here, the crown one, is the one that allows you to get crit rate or crit damage as the main stat. So this crown right here, you always want it to be either crit rate or crit damage. Otherwise, the other artifacts, the only way you get crit rate and crit damage on them is by the substats. The main stat, you can't get crit rate or crit damage on them. So that's something I learned when I was artifact farming. So but that's kind of about it for the video. Hopefully I enjoyed. Hopefully this video was helpful. I know that I was kind of all over the place with this video, so if you guys want me to explain it more in the comments, or if you guys want me to make another video explaining this, definitely let me know. But I really had a hard time figuring out how I wanted to do this video, so yeah, hopefully It was consistent. But you guys want more of these type of videos where I kind of explain, a little bit of Genshin Impact and the mechanics of it, definitely let me know. Yeah, I thought this video a lot of fun, and I definitely want to do more of this, so definitely let me know what you guys want to see. But yeah, if you guys want more videos on Genshin Impact, definitely hit the like and subscribe button, and I plan on doing more Genshin Impact videos on my channel. I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but 1.2 is coming out very soon, so I might do a video on that eventually. But yeah, that's kind of about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. But yeah, that's kind of about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.